What if I told you that archaeologists have discovered over 130 mysterious bronze objects across Europe that completely baffle modern science? These 12-sided geometric puzzles appear nowhere in Roman texts, exist only where Celtic and Roman cultures merged, and after 280 years of study, we still don't know what they are. In June 2023, British archaeologists made a discovery that would reignite one of archaeology's greatest mysteries. They buried the evidence. We dig it up. Welcome back to the Artifacts Detective. I'm your host, and today we're investigating the Roman Dodecahedron, an ancient technology that defies explanation. For nearly 3 centuries, these bronze objects have emerged from European soil, each discovery adding to the puzzle rather than solving it. Today, we'll examine the latest evidence, including exclusive findings from the 2023 Norton Disney excavation and groundbreaking research from Newcastle University. This investigation will challenge everything you think you know about Roman technology, because sometimes the most advanced civilizations leave behind their most mysterious artifacts. Today we'll examine the archaeological evidence from 130 discoveries, scientific analysis that eliminates popular theories, why these objects appear nowhere in the Roman heartland, what the 2024 research reveals about their true purpose. Let's dive into the investigation. Our investigation begins in Lincolnshire, England, where archaeologist Richard Parker and his team were excavating near a Roman villa in June 2023. The Norton Disney History and Archaeology group had been systematically exploring this site for years, uncovering evidence of Roman occupation dating back to the 1st century CE. What they found would become Britain's 33rd Roman dodecahedron and one of the most significant discoveries in decades. Parker described it as a find of a lifetime. The bronze object emerged from a pit containing 4th century pottery, providing crucial dating evidence that most dodecahedra lack. Unlike the vast majority of these artifacts discovered through metal detecting or chance finds, this specimen came from a controlled archaeological excavation with full stratigraphic context. The artifact measures 8 centimeters across and weighs 245 grams. But here's what makes it extraordinary. It's in perfect condition. No damage. No corrosion. After 1,600 years underground, it looks almost new. The preservation is so remarkable that individual tool marks from its creation remain visible on the surface. Metallurgist Dr. Jerry McDonnell conducted X-ray fluorescence analysis, revealing its composition: 75% copper, 18% lead. This is typical Roman bronze. But everything else about these objects is anything but typical. The alloy composition matches other Roman bronze artifacts from the period, confirming its authenticity and dating. The high lead content would have made the bronze easier to cast, but also more brittle, another clue that these weren't meant for heavy use. Here's where our investigation takes an unexpected turn. Roman dodecahedra have been found in Britain, France, Germany, Belgium, Netherlands, Switzerland, Austria, and Hungary. The distribution pattern forms a distinct arc across northwestern Europe, following the Rhine and Danube frontiers of the Roman Empire. But notice what's missing. Not a single dodecahedron has been discovered in Italy. None in Spain, none in North Africa, none in Greece or Asia Minor. The silence from Rome itself is deafening. These objects appear exclusively where Celtic and Roman cultures merged, what archaeologists call the Gallo-Roman provinces. If dodecahedra served an empire-wide purpose, why don't they exist in Rome itself? Why are they absent from the wealthy provinces of the Mediterranean, where Roman culture was strongest? The geographic clustering becomes even more intriguing when we examine specific find spots. German museums hold the largest collections, with concentrations along the Rhine frontier. The Rheinisches Landesmuseum Bonn alone houses multiple specimens, including examples from military sites like the fortress at Bonn itself. France follows with numerous discoveries, particularly in the northern regions that formed ancient Gaul. Britain's 33 examples cluster around both military installations and civilian settlements, from Hadrian's Wall in the north to villa sites in the south. Let's examine the physical evidence. Every dodecahedron shares certain characteristics: 12 pentagonal faces. Circular holes in each face ranging from 6 to 40 millimeters. Small knobs at all 20 vertices. Hollow bronze construction. Sizes from 4 to 11 centimeters. But here's the first major clue: no two are identical. The holes vary in size not just between different dodecahedra, but within individual objects. This lack of standardization challenges any theory requiring precise measurements. Some specimens have holes arranged in a pattern of gradually increasing size, while others seem random. The knobs also vary. Some are perfectly spherical, others more elongated, and their size differs even on the same object. Dr. Lorena Hitchens from Newcastle University has examined all 130 known specimens. Her findings are revolutionary. They don't show signs of wear, so they are not a tool. They're also much more delicate than people realize. This discovery eliminates one of the most popular theories, that dodecahedra were knitting tools for making gloves. Despite viral videos showing replicas being used this way, the archaeological evidence says otherwise. No wear patterns, too delicate for repeated use. The bronze would show clear signs of thread friction if used for textile work, yet microscopic analysis reveals pristine surfaces on even the oldest examples. Hitchens' research goes further. Using advanced imaging techniques, she's documented minute manufacturing details invisible to the naked eye. Tool marks show each dodecahedron was carefully finished after casting, with surfaces polished to a high sheen. This level of craftsmanship seems excessive for utilitarian objects. Researchers at the Technical University of Munich recreated a dodecahedron using Roman techniques. The process, called lost wax casting, requires extraordinary skill. Create a detailed wax model. Coat with clay to form a mold. Heat to melt out the wax. Pour molten bronze into the cavity. Break the mold to reveal the casting. The precision required suggests these weren't everyday objects. The cost of bronze and skilled labor made each dodecahedron a significant investment. Modern attempts to recreate them reveal just how challenging the process is. The wax model must be perfect. Any flaw will appear in the final bronze. The 12 faces must align precisely. The 20 knobs must be positioned exactly. And the varying hole sizes must be planned from the start. The casting process itself requires temperatures exceeding 1000 degrees Celsius and expert timing. Pour too soon and the bronze won't flow properly. Wait too long and it begins to solidify. The fact that Roman craftsmen achieved such consistency without modern equipment testifies to their skill. Dodecahedra appear in remarkably diverse contexts. Coin hoards, suggesting high value, military camps along the frontier, civilian villa sites, religious sanctuaries, burial sites. This diversity initially confused researchers, but patterns have emerged. Military sites have produced about 40% of known specimens, particularly along the Rhine frontier where Roman and Germanic cultures intersected. Villa discoveries often come from high-status areas, suggesting ownership by wealthy individuals. The coin hoard associations are particularly intriguing. Why bury a bronze object alongside precious silver and gold unless it held comparable value? The most intriguing discovery comes from Krefeld-Gelep, Germany, where a dodecahedron was buried with a woman in the 4th century. It lay beside her, along with other grave goods, including a mysterious bone rod. The burial was clearly high status. The woman wore expensive jewelry and was interred in a stone sarcophagus, a rarity in this period. This burial context suggests ritual significance, objects chosen to accompany the deceased into the afterlife. The positioning of the dodecahedron near her right hand implies it was meant to be accessible in the next world. What power did ancient people believe it held? Academic researchers have proposed multiple theories. Let's examine the evidence for each. Dr. Emilia Sparavigna from Politecnico di Torino published calculations showing how soldiers could estimate distances by viewing objects through different-sized holes. Her mathematical models demonstrate that by knowing an object's actual size, say a soldier's height, observers could calculate distance based on which hole the figure filled. The theory is elegant, but why only in northwestern provinces? Why nowhere from military use? And why the religious burial contexts? Roman military manuals, which describe everything from camp construction to siege warfare in meticulous detail, never mention these devices. If dodecahedra were standard military equipment, their absence from military texts is inexplicable. Dutch researcher G.M.C. Wagemans spent years studying 29 specimens, proposing they helped farmers determine sowing dates. His measurements suggested correlations with critical agricultural dates between September 9th and October 2nd. By aligning the dodecahedron with the sun and observing which holes light passed through, farmers could supposedly track seasonal changes. Wagemans even created functional replicas and tested them in agricultural settings. His dedication is admirable, but the theory faces serious challenges. The lack of standardization means each dodecahedron would give different readings. How could farmers rely on instruments with such varying measurements? And why don't we find them in Italy's agricultural heartland? The dodecahedron held special significance in ancient philosophy. Plato's Timaeus describes it as representing the cosmos itself, the shape of the universe. In Platonic cosmology, the dodecahedron was the most sacred of the 5 regular solids, encompassing all creation. This theory best explains the geographic distribution in Celtic Roman areas where mystery religions flourished, the burial context suggesting objects of power, the lack of ware indicating ceremonial rather than practical use, the documentary silence, sacred mysteries were often kept secret. The Musée d'Archaeologie Nationale describes their dodecahedron as crafted from brilliant copper alloy that shone brightly, language suggesting ritual rather than practical use. When polished, these bronze objects would have gleamed like gold, creating an impressive display in firelight during ceremonies. Romano-Celtic religion blended Roman deities with indigenous Celtic beliefs, creating unique hybrid practices. The Celts had a long tradition of sacred geometry, seen in their art and metalwork. The dodecahedron might represent a Roman interpretation of Celtic cosmological concepts, explaining why they appear only where these cultures merged. Here's perhaps the most damning evidence. Not a single Roman text mentions dodecahedra. No technical manuals, no inventory lists, no casual references in literature. Roman writers documented everything from recipes to engineering specifications, yet these objects merit not a word. No artwork depicts them. No inscriptions identify them. This silence seems impossible for common tools or instruments. Roman reliefs show soldiers with their equipment, farmers with their tools, priests with their ritual objects, but never a dodecahedron. As historian Francis Mackintosh observes, if this was something that was very important to the Romans, we would expect to find them throughout the Roman Empire, not just in the Northwest Territories. This documentary silence might actually support the religious theory. Mystery cults maintained strict secrecy about their practices. Initiates swore oaths never to reveal cult secrets. If dodecahedra played a role in Romano-Celtic mysteries, their absence from written records becomes understandable. PhD candidate Lorena Hitchens is conducting the most comprehensive study ever attempted. Her project includes detailed measurement of all 130 specimens, advanced metallurgical analysis, microscopic wear pattern studies, digital reconstruction and testing. Her work has already yielded fascinating insights. Using 3D scanning technology, she's created a digital database allowing researchers worldwide to examine specimens virtually. Patterns invisible to the naked eye emerge when computer algorithms analyze the data. Some dodecahedra show manufacturing similarities, suggesting they came from the same workshop, while others display unique characteristics pointing to local production. Initial findings confirm the religious theory gained strength. The objects show careful craftsmanship but no utilitarian wear. Their distribution maps perfectly onto areas of Celtic Roman cultural fusion. The varying sizes might have held symbolic rather than practical significance, perhaps representing different cosmic levels or degrees of initiation. In a remarkable twist, researchers discovered Romans created other geometric forms. This 20-sided bronze object, an Icosahedron, shares similar construction with Dodecahedra. Found near Arloff, Germany, it features the same hollow bronze construction and protruding knobs at vertices. If Romans were creating multiple Platonic solids, this strengthens the cosmic symbolism theory. Were there also bronze tetrahedra, cubes, and octahedra waiting to be discovered? Each Platonic solid held specific meaning in ancient philosophy: fire, earth, air, water, and the cosmos. A complete set would have formed a powerful symbolic system. The search continues across Europe. Metal detectorists now know to look for geometric shapes, not just coins and brooches. Each new discovery adds another piece to this ancient puzzle, bringing us closer to understanding their true purpose. Let's recap what we've learned. The evidence is overwhelming. 130 dodecahedra found exclusively in Celtic Roman provinces. No wear patterns despite 1,600 years of potential use. Complete absence from Roman texts and Mediterranean regions. Burial contexts suggesting ritual significance. Connection to Platonic cosmic symbolism. Sophisticated manufacturing indicating high value. Geographic distribution matching Romano-Celtic cultural zones. This evidence points toward a religious or ritual function. Objects that held special meaning where Celtic and Roman beliefs merged. They may have served as cosmic symbols, religious implements, or markers of cultural identity in regions where two great civilizations created something entirely new. The 2023 Norton Disney discovery and ongoing Newcastle research bring us closer to the truth. Yet each answer generates new questions. The more we learn, the more complex the mystery becomes. When we consider that most of northwestern Europe remains unexcavated, how many more dodecahedra lie buried? What other geometric mysteries await discovery? Each construction project, each archaeological survey, might reveal another piece of this ancient puzzle. The Roman dodecahedron reminds us that ancient civilizations possess knowledge we've lost. Sometimes the most advanced cultures leave behind their most puzzling artifacts. These objects speak to us across centuries, challenging our assumptions about the past. The evidence is clear. These weren't tools. They weren't toys. They were something far more significant to the people who made them, cosmic symbols of a worldview we're only beginning to understand. In a world where Celtic mysticism met Roman engineering, where local traditions merged with imperial culture, the dodecahedron emerged as a unique expression of this cultural fusion. What's your take on this discovery? Do you think the religious symbolism theory explains all the evidence? Or is there another possibility we haven't considered? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more archaeological investigations like this, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. And remember, they buried the evidence. We dig it up. Uncover more ancient mysteries, follow the artifacts detective, and join the investigation.